Hi, everybody. My name is Val. I just remembered a story from my childhood. As you know, we have Christmas, and my memories came flooding back. I'm going to tell you about an unusual Santa I met as a child. He wasn't an ordinary Santa, he was extraordinary. I was about 7 years old, I think. I had just started school that year, but I still believed in miracles. I had a strict mother. She was always punishing me for pranks, even the smallest ones, such as taking out the trash on time, bringing stale milk from the store, and for all this, I got a proper beating. Of course, as a child, I was offended and angry, but then I even got used to it. But that year, I was especially upset, all because I spent the whole year begging my mother to give me a huge set of felt tip pens, and she said that Santa Claus would give them to me for Christmas. You know, not even for my birthday. Anyway, before Christmas, Mom often stayed late at work, and she told me to clean the house before she got home. It was a week before the big day. I mean, come on, how can a 7-year-old clean the house normally? I did the best I could, but when my mom came in, she started yelling. I told you to clean up, not to make a mess.
Well, I did.
Where?
Here.
I pointed at the apartment. It seemed to me that I did everything well, but my mom yelled that my hands grew out of the wrong place.
What's wrong?
Why is my flower vase in the sink?
The water was leaking, so I put it in there.
Why was there water coming out of there?
Because it fell when I was dusting the table and it cracked a little.
So, you broke my vase?
No, it's not broken. It's just a little leaky.
Okay, and why is my underwear in the bathroom closet and not in the bedroom?
Well, you still run to the bedroom after you bathe.
But there are towels in the bathroom. Where are they?
In the kitchen.
Why?
There was no other place.
Oh man, that's it, Val. I can't take it anymore. You see how hard I work, how I don't have enough energy or time? You've got me all to yourself and nobody else, and you can't clean up. That's it. No Christmas this year. I'm not going to celebrate in such a dirty house.
No, Mom, but you promised me.
Promised you what?
That Santa would get me felt tip pens.
No presents. You don't deserve them.
But I already sent him a letter.
So, I'll tell him you don't deserve them. You act like crap, especially at Christmas.
No, you wouldn't do that.
Yes, I would. I ran to my room in tears. I felt awful. It was nighttime, and my mother went to bed after a long night of cleaning the apartment. But I couldn't sleep, so I decided I just had to find Santa and talk to him. But how? He lives far away in the North Pole. How am I going to get there? I don't even have a driver's license. I stood in front of my window, folded my arms, and prayed.
Dear Santa, if you can hear me, please come to my house. I have something to tell you. It's very important. Christmas is coming, and I want to tell you something.
I said several times in a row. And, oh my goodness, my message was heard. I noticed Santa walking across the neighbor's roof. I got so excited, quickly got dressed, and ran outside. I waited for him to come down from there.
Santa?
Oh my God, who are you?
I'm Val. I need to talk to you.
Oh my God, you scared me.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Why are you delivering presents so early?
Some of the kids are a little early this year. Yeah, all right. I'm out of here.
Wait, so you got Snotty Teddy a present and you decided not to get me one this year?
Who's Teddy?
You just went to his house.
Oh, yeah, that happened. I'm sorry. I gotta go.
Stop, I'm gonna cry.
Okay, just be quiet. What do you want?
I want to talk to you about something very important.
Just hurry up. I couldn't get my thoughts together, and it was cold. Some policemen were passing by. They stopped and asked us what we were doing. Santa hugged me for some reason and said he wanted to give me a present and that he was my uncle. The cops laughed and asked me to go inside. Where are your parents?
Mom's asleep. She came after work and she has more work tomorrow, too. Why are you walking back and forth? Are you looking for something?
Yeah.
Are you thirsty?
Yes, please. I went out to the kitchen and poured him some milk, and when I came back, he was gone. I ran outside and I saw him stomping to his car. but I quickly ran and got in the car with him.
Oh my God, what do you want, you naughty girl?
I'm talking to you.
Then he saw the cops again in the distance and started the car. So we drove away from there.
Wow, you're taking me to your house in the North Pole?
Yeah, almost. We opened a branch in town a while ago.
Wow, that's so cool. They won't believe me when I tell them.
Don't tell anyone, not even your mom.
Yeah, you're right. Otherwise, the magic of Christmas will be gone. I read about it.
Smart girl. You come with me. I'll take you home tomorrow, okay?
Okay.
We stopped at a few more houses on the way. I sat in the car and made sure no one came near us, and if I saw the cops, I told Santa on the radio he gave to me. A few hours later, his bag was full. I couldn't even believe that so many cookies had been put under Christmas trees, but I was so proud to have participated in Santa Claus's covert special operation. We arrived almost at morning at his house. He opened the door and my expectations were somehow exhausted.
What is this?
My house, come on in.
But it stinks in here. Do you drink beer?
Sometimes, but it's not mine. It's the elves.
Elves drink?
Mine does, he drinks. His wife left him, he's having a hard time.
Okay. Santa, I need to talk to you.
What is it?
Then somebody called him on the phone. He asked me to sit on the couch and he went out to talk on it. I wanted to turn on the TV, but it wasn't working, so I went into the kitchen and heard him talking to someone. Santa said he was almost done, but they had a little problem.
Yeah, I had to take her with me or she'd be yelling all over the place. Nothing will happen, I'll take her home tomorrow and that's it. It's okay, calm down. I'll feed her and put her to sleep and that's it. Where do you want the gold? Yes, the diamonds too, I took the cash. Yeah.
That's where I began to doubt that he was giving gifts. Either that, or he was charging a high price for them. Santa talked to the person, then came back to me. I was sitting on the couch, watching him.
What? What are you looking at?
Is that any way for Santa to talk to kids?
Yeah, you're right, I'm sorry. It's a consequence of a conversation with the elf.
Santa, you can do magic, right?
Of course I can.
And you know the name of every child in the world and how they've behaved this year?
Yeah?
What's my name?
Val.
Oh, you know?
Yeah?
And then I remembered that I had told him that myself.
Okay, Santa, but please tell me, how have I behaved this year?
Good, very good. You see, you even sit and talk to me now. Not everyone can do that.
Yeah, what did I ask you for Christmas?
A doll, right?
I knew it!
What? What's wrong?
I didn't ask for a doll. You're not real.
Wait, where are you going? Wait!
I ran out into the streets. Thanks to his big belly, Santa was so slow that I ran ahead of him. I ran as fast as I could, and at the bus stop, I spotted a cop. I told him everything. They listened to me and then ran after me. Santa was gone, but he had all the stuff he'd stolen. We returned everything we had stolen according to the owner's statements, and they brought me home. Mom was glad. As it turned out, she got very scared, but it all worked out in the end. My burglar was inexperienced and kind. He was arrested a couple of days later, along with his accomplice, Elf. They tried to rob other houses, but it didn't work out. The police tracked them down just as they were climbing down the chimney of someone else's house, disguised as wizards from the North Pole. So there you go. I did get a set of felt tip pens and even paints that year. The cops gave them to me, which I was very happy about.
Hello, everyone. My name is Walker. I recently transferred from one school. It is not quite ordinary. You can even say not at all ordinary. And all because it's not for everyone, only for the chosen ones. Now I'll tell you more about how I got there and what I went through. But while you watch, listen, like the video, write comments under the video, and do not forget to subscribe to the channel. When I was 16, I went to a school for aspiring detectives. Yes, I combined my studies in parallel with a main one. I was interested in investigating crimes from childhood. Besides, I did quite well, so my parents also did not mind. Once, I even managed to solve a high-profile crime at school. The fact is that at one time, I heard that we were distributing drugs. This happens in many schools, But the drug that was distributed among us was not just pampering, it caused real hallucinations, after which students committed suicide. The games with death were too much advertised on the phone radio. The gossip and rumor about the drugs was embellished. The police came to us every day, led by the sheriff himself, but no one could find the dealer. Since no one but my parents knew that I attended detective school, I managed to infiltrate a group of high school students who were pushing dope right at parties. It was difficult, but I did it. I pretended to be one of their buyers and then took and took. They were wondering why I didn't take it as well as the others, and I said that I have immunity. Besides, I used the minimum dosage, and they seemed to believe me. I managed to earn the status of a regular customer. I told guys that my foster mother also drinks this stuff, and they easily believed it. And so, at one of the drug sales, they were hit by the cops. I was also taken away so that I would not stand out and arouse suspicion. Then, allegedly, I managed to get out of it, but they did not. They remained in prison, and the trials began. I pretended I'd never spoken to them, that's all. But the case was not brought to an end. We needed to find the source of the crime, and that is, the one who prepares all this and distributes it. The most interesting thing was that the dope was only sold in our school, which meant that there were few drugs and their production had only just begun. All I had to do was find this person. Then one day, I met another guy at school, pushing CPC-3, or so the drug was called. I bought it, and then I made an appointment to buy more, and they told me that CPC would be there tonight. I agreed and hid around the corner. I was planning on tracking down the couple who sold it to me. Immediately after school, they headed towards the outskirts of the city. It wasn't difficult to follow them, but as soon as I got even closer to the fence, the guards chased me away. Then I decided to go there under a different guise. I remembered that our director had connections there. I think a friend or a relative worked there. That's it. All I had to do was pretend to be bad. All children with a terrible psychological state were taken there. It was worth getting a certificate from a school psychologist. This place was called the second school, but once inside, it was more creepy than I'd imagined. My supposed uncontrolled outbursts of aggression were treated with sedatives. I pretended to drink them, and I secretly watched the locals. There I saw most of the guys from our school, including those who were drugged but survived. Something must have happened to their brains to be there. It wasn't easy for me there at first. The orderlies there were petty. It was not worth disobeying them once, because they immediately hit the kidneys with a baton, despite the fact that we were children and they did not feed us well there. At best, once a day, and sometimes completely forgot, but regularly gave pills, after which the violent became quiet and upside down. I never saw the director, but I planned to get to his office, and I did it last night. I somehow ran through the nurses. I managed to pick the lock and go inside. I was looking for a clue. Why were the dealers coming here? I accidentally bumped my folder on the table, and documents with photos of those dealers, or rather all the dealers, and the arrested ones, fell out. And then I saw other photos. These children were sitting in the ward. They were pumped with something. Then I realized that they were all being used here. Suddenly, the photo on the table caught my eye. Oh no, the director of the psych ward was our director's twin brother. Then there was a noise, and I abruptly hid under the table. Someone came in. Damn, I forgot to close the door again. So where is it? And here they are, said the voice, and picked up the documents from the floor. Then he called someone and said that the children were ready. It was time to let them out. As soon as he finished, he left the office. I hesitated for a moment, and then I was going to run out and run to the police, but as soon as I went out the door, I was immediately stopped, pressed against the wall, and threatened. What were you doing in my office? The director shouted. I was confused, scared, and then I said that I had taken CPC and I felt uneasy. You're on the pill. Go on, go back to your room. Your turn to sell is not yet here, he said to me and let me go. Then I realized that he was pumping the kids, luring them to him with his brother's help and making the kids free dealers. Well, the children who died were not his concern. I managed to run out of the school by a miracle. The first thing I did was run to my office And I told my mentors everything, and with them, I went to the police, where we drew up a search warrant. The management of the two schools were caught red-handed, and the crime was solved. It turns out that they mixed psychotropic drugs and distributed them to school children, a vague business that failed miserably. Yes, I was proud of myself and the work I had done. This proved once again that I chose the right profession. After it was all over, I continued my studies as before, only now I felt a little calmer for myself and my friends. Then it turned out that our director and his brother were already involved in similar cases related to smuggling, only they managed to get free, and then they changed their names and surnames. Well, now they're going to jail for a long time, that's for sure. That school for psychos was closed. It shouldn't have been there. But they made an excellent dance school out of it, and now you can get there completely legally and at will. Do you think we did the right thing? Thing?